Hi, Asad. I'm really happy to be part of my program, Cinema with Jamila. So, first, let us know more about your experience in your cinema and the relationship that you have with movies, cinema, theater. We want to hear your story.
Thank you so much, Jamila. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you.
I've been doing theater and movies and acting all my life. I started doing theater when I was 7 years old. I played the role of Aladdin in a children's production of Aladdin. It
Wow,
was
nice.
sponsored by the Dubai government, and it was for promotion of the arts and everything. And I fell in love with acting since then. Since then, I've done a lot of theater. I've done TV shows. I've done TV sitcoms. I've done digital.
Wow.
And I've also been part of Bollywood movies, Pakistani movies, and hopefully very soon Hollywood movies as well. So,
Wow, good luck. You're success person, successful.
no, I'm just lucky that I've been blessed with a lot of good opportunities by Allah and also a lot of good people around me who have helped
Of
me grow,
course.
and people still like me, so that's a good thing.
I think your secret to success is you love yourself and you have a good relationship with yourself and with others also.
Yes.
And so this is will be our first chapter of our program, and I want to know your opinion about it. So, watching movies about relationship. Okay, so let's start. So, what movies get wrong about relationship?
Well, I can
Yes,
split this into two. So
yeah,
first I will talk about Bollywood movies because I come from the South Asian community,
yeah,
and Bollywood movies have glamorized love, like they have over glamorized love, and I'm sure everybody.
magic.
It's like it's magic, right? I'm sure that everybody knows a gentleman by the name of Shah Rukh Khan. He has destroyed love for many generations because he has, made it so magical. He has romanticized it so much, made it so fictional that everybody expects that now. He has spoiled enough
Yes.
for women because they expect the Shah Rukh Khan to come into their lives, and he has spoiled it for men because now men have to be Shah Rukh Khan to
Of
be
course.
successful
Yes.
in their relationship. So I think Bollywood has over romanticized it. It's the beauty of cinema. It takes you away to this very make believe life, takes you away from reality. But what he has done for our generation is horrid. So,
Yeah.
so that's the Bollywood angle of it. I think Hollywood started off more with a very masculine approach towards romance and relationships. If you go from the 60s to the 70s, it was a very male centric, whether it was movies, television, even advertisements, right? Where the woman was inside the house, cooking, cleaning, and that was her role.
Yes.
It was not a partnership. And I think over the
Now
time,
it's different.
yes, it has progressed. There is a lot of cinema being done today, which is on complicated relationships, with all of these evolutions happening in human beings. They have sort of normalized unique relationships, which were not that common before, and they
Mhm.
have addressed complicated relationships. So it's giving people more window, but I think that till you get to a place where you realize yourself, it also instigates thoughts and makes you confused, which is good because striving to discover yourself is very
Yes.
nice.
Nice. So let's go to the another point. So, what is the best famous movie couples, and what lessons we can learn from them?
Again, I will split it. I will go into Hollywood separately and Bollywood separately. I think the one of the most, I would say, the couples that people looked up to
Mm-hmm.
previously was like Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol on screen, not off screen.
Yes.
On screen, where their chemistry and the movies, they all of the movies that they've done together have been
Yes.
super successful and have been blockbusters and epic sagas of their time. So I think that on-screen couple with their chemistry, and they're very good friends, offline as well in real life. So I think that really set the tone in terms of what an ideal couple should look like. If you talk
Yeah.
about
Nice.
real world, you have people like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I think that they are not only adorable together, but they also express their love, whether it be social media, whether it be events. And there's that naughtiness that they
Social media, nice. I
yes.
love social media.
And they're always constantly pulling each other's leg and, always taking a diss at one another. But at the end of the day, they love and respect one another. And I think that shows that a relationship needs to have that healthy bit of romance, naughtiness, but also needs to be based on, respect, mutual love,
Of course.
understanding, and common goals.
And do you think now we can found this pure love, this respect, or it's different from before, or from the story that we see in our society, Indian or Bollywood?
I think in movies, it's a little too perfect when they show it perfect, and a little too corrupt when they show it corrupt, because they have to create drama, right? They have
of course.
They have to create that connect with,
make people happy,
or make
they
them
want
sad.
to make people happy.
Both, huh? They can either make people really happy or they can make people really sad. But at the end of the day, I think that more from a portrayal standpoint of real relationships, especially cinema, when you talk about the 70 watching it in the theater, right? They have to play it up. So that's not the ideal relationship kind that that is. And if we try to seek that, it becomes extremely, I would say, utopic trying to find that. But what things movies and media as a general has given us inputs into is how partnerships work. And I think that that where it has its flaws, social media also shows us what a mutual respect relationship should look like.
Of course. So we can say that so love in the movies sometimes can be dangerous because it's not real. So why? And also how relationship movies affect our future dating habits with your couple, with your loved one.
I think you're asking two questions over here. So I'll talk about dating and then I'll talk about relationships.
Yes.
I think these beautiful people that you see on screen, right? The ideal man with air gushing in his hair, and then the ideal woman who's walking and everyone's like turning around and she has this swag. I think that's
I got excited.
That spoils dating for a lot of people, because what happens is you will meet human beings, normal human beings, people like me.
Of course.
You'll meet very normal people. And if you have in your mind that, oh, somebody like a Ryan Gosling will come walking through the door and sweep you off your feet, then the poor guy who's coming on a date for you has already lost even before he started to play, right? And the same goes for men as well, that this ideal, gorgeous, 6 foot, with those wavy hairs and those excellent features, I think that has really distorted point of views of your partner in the dating circle. And social media, by the way, is also encouraging this behavior. That's why you see that, for example, cosmetic surgeries have, become really big. People are not focused on how they are on the inside, but they're more worried about what they look on the outside. And this is because of social media. It is because of movies, that portrayal that your partner or anybody is going to be perfect, which they are not. I think, and then you take that, and also that utopia, which I said, is created. When you take that into your relationship, you're like, but in the movie yesterday, he cooked dinner for his wife, even though he was tired. Why aren't you doing this? And then suddenly you're like, but we can order, right? We can just order. No,
of course.
So the benchmarks get distorted. I think that it's an unrealistic expectation in life. And
and I'm with you. I'm totally with you, because watching movies also change the way we think. So, so how movies affects our brain, from the example that you just gave us right now?
I think movie and media both have a huge impact on society, which is why, if I'm sure people who are watching this, many of them would have also maybe studied journalism. So when you do journalism, there is a full course on responsible journalism, right? That you have to be true, you have to be to the facts, you cannot distort with your point of view, you just lay down the facts for people and they will derive from it what you have to derive, what they want to derive from it. The same way is responsible media, that you cannot show anything which is totally obnoxious, which corrupts people's minds. Because when they watch a movie, when they watch television, when they watch theater, they are very open, right, to point of views. Now,
Of
theater
course.
has always been used as a medium for questioning status quo. So whoever goes, to the theater, rather than, okay, they'll go for entertainment as well, but they go to question life. They go for art and for culture. But people could just go, and theater is, again, with all due respect, it's one of my most favorite mediums.
Me
But
too.
the reach is still very limited. Movies and television, the reach is phenomenal, right? The reach is like a show on Netflix could get 100 million views in one weekend.
Yes.
And
Yes.
super hit theatrical productions like Hamilton, before it went to Disney Hotstar, barely went to like 500,000, a million views, because there are only so many people that can go to the theater. So there has to be that responsible media, and you can't just portray something to which to a normal person would distort their point of view. Like when the Matrix came out, everyone started questioning God, universalism, existentialism, and everybody was like,
Yes.
now see, this is the power of media. So it's a very
Of,
entertaining movie. People eventually got over it. But just like that, when you put through a point, whether it's relationships, religion, politics, it does leave a lasting impact. So it is a
of
medium
course.
that can be used for change, but it needs to be treated with the utmost care and responsibility, because it
Of
does
course.
impact a lot of people.
Yes. So please, Asad, how movies influence people attitude and behavior?
This is it's a very objective question, and I think that it influences different people in different ways. If you look at, for example, the population of India, Bangladesh, their movies are cult followings, right? For them, the actors are equivalent to, I shouldn't, don't get me wrong, but they're equivalent to godlike status, right? They are above the rest. So whatever they do, whatever they say, is embraced. If in the movie they will be like, go outside, tear your clothes and run around naked, they'll do that. That's the kind of, if you progress towards, let's say, the Middle East or the West, the audiences are much more refined, right? They
Yes.
like movies, whether it's entertainment, whether it's the glamour, but their impact is still limited. However, there are movies which could have social messages, there are movies which could have relationship messages, mental health issues. They are going to be still receptive to that. So if a good message is given, that leaves a lasting good impact. But if something which should not be portrayed as an ideology is given, that can be embraced as well. And there's this whole saying, right, that there was a point in time where movies were used for political agendas, right? So that goes to show how much that
Yes.
impacts you. So
Of course.
cinema and television, media as a whole, very impactful for people. Depending upon where they are and how they are receptive, it goes all the way from a cult following to a more refined following in terms of
Yes. Yes.
experience.
Yes. And Asad, how movies you watch as a child from your own experience shape your personality and also the way you think?
I used to be obsessed with over the top dramas, over the top comedies, and over the top romance. And I became an over the top personality. So I've always
You
liked.
became an actress. You became successful one.
No, not successful, but people say that I overact. I think it's because I used to watch over the top
Yes.
kind of cinema as a child. But I always believed in living life king size, right? Because you'd have the actor who's living in a big mansion, who's successful, who's very eloquent, who's well groomed, who has perfect relationships with everyone around. I think that in some way gave me some inspiration that I want to be. It is possible. Again, it might be a utopia, right? It might be something which is not attainable. But I always felt that it could be possible for, like, when I was growing up, we had nothing. We were very, very like modest beginnings. We didn't even have money to go to the cinema to watch movies. I remember that when I was a child, Jumanji came out, Jurassic Park came out, the first one, and that shows you how old I am. But we didn't even have money to go and watch these movies. And now when I end up on the big screen, it's very humbling. But I think that those over-the-top movies that we saw as a child, whether it was on television or cable TV or whatever,
It's encouraged you to be what you are today.
it gave me that belief that it is possible. I'm still very far away from it. I think a lot of work needs to go in still to get there. But it gave me that over-the-top, live life king size kind of methodology and belief.
Yeah, so because we are what we watch, do you believe in that? Yes, of course. What do you think? We are what we watch.
I think we believe or choose to believe what we watch, and we are what we believe. So if people don't believe what they watch, it'll never impact them. But if they do believe what they watch, then eventually they will become that. It's like a friend of yours, right? A friend of yours talking to you day in, day out. If you
faithful friend.
Faithful, unfaithful, whatever, right? If they are talking to you consistently, right?
Yeah.
If maybe you're in a relationship and they're like, oh, your boyfriend is bad, your boyfriend is bad. If you choose not to listen to them, it won't impact your behavior. But if you choose to listen to them and believe to them, it impacts your behavior. And if they continuously keep saying that, they will plant something which is called doubt in your mind. And then your behavior will start changing. So eventually it will impact people's behavior. How much is how much they believe it. So what you watch is what you believe, and what you believe is who you are.
Nice, smart one. Thank you. So let's go, please, to the next chapter. So movies on medical education. So do you watch medical educational movies? For example, The Doctors?
No, I think that the only medical educational things that I've seen is Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor, which has nothing to do with medicine. It's only soap operas embodied in that. But I'm not, like, as I said, right, my choice in movies, sadly, is the over-the-top, like complete, the craze fest, as they say. I love movies like Pirates of the Caribbean or Top Gun or Avengers and Marvel ones, those which are that larger than life canvas. I prefer watching that. So
this is your type of personality, yes. So for sure, but because, for example, COVID, now they are doing lots of stories, movies, theaters about COVID, for example.
But so why I choose to stay away from those movies? Because we're living it. We're living the reality.
You're right. Yes.
As well.
Yes, yes. So let's start from the example about the COVID. So what do you think about teaching medicine, for example, the awareness of COVID through films and movies and theaters, even media?
Oh, for sure. As we established, right, that media has a very big impact on people. So, and it is, again, a medium that needs to be treated responsibly. So not just COVID, right? Political issues, humanitarian issues.
Of course.
All of these can be very, very well driven by media.
Yeah, but to spread the awareness in movies, cinema, theater, right? You're with this or not? It's a positive or negative?
No, it's positive. I think, as I said, right, that it can be used, the media as a medium can be used to encourage and to educate. And definitely it should be used. And there are many movies which come out on specific topics to encourage and motivate and educate the masses. And for COVID, it should be the same. And obviously, maybe 10, 20 years later, when people watch these movies, they'll actually be able to feel what we went through as well. So for them also, it'll be a history lesson.
Of course, yes.
As well.
And help us to have healthy habits, because when we have healthy habits, we'll be more happy. You will be happy life with yourself, with others. Right? Yes.
So, and one thing on this is like mental health, right? So many movies have come out on mental health. And that, I think, has been very encouraging because people now have realized how important mental health is. If somebody is depressed around them, and they need to go and love, affection. So it's definitely something which needs to be encouraged more.
Yes. So what films and TV get wrong and right about medicine or the mental health that you just talked about? The advantage and disadvantage, from your own opinion, please.
Yeah, I think all media has advantages and disadvantages, as I said, right? It's about how you use the tool. So if you use it for propaganda, if you use it for hate, if you use it for driving an
Mm-hmm.
agenda which is not right, which we see all over the world. I don't want to get into these examples because they're very, very controversial. But we've seen over time that people push propaganda through movies as well, right? Trying to distort
Yes.
the real life on the real life. So,
Yes.
so that is how it's wrong and how it's been used wrong. But if it is used right to push stories which are inspirational, to push real struggles of people, to push real issues of people, I think that is where it becomes extremely beautiful. And if you even look at TV shows today, and I hats off, right? Hats off to platforms such as Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix. They have encompassed all of these issues into entertaining stories as well. So you're watching a sitcom, which is fun, but they will bring that element in, which makes you realize that even people around you who might seem perfect may have these issues. So they've made people like me, real
Yes.
people, aware of this. That is,
All of us we have, but maybe we don't know.
it's true.
Yes.
It's true. It's very, very true. But it's
And
made us
it's
more
not
aware.
wrong.
Yeah, and it's made us aware. It's made us aware of everything. And if we all work on this, then tomorrow will be better than today. Otherwise, we'll be stuck, right? We'll be stuck
Yes,
with
yes,
our
of
issues,
course.
living the same story every single day.
Yes.
There's a movie
Yeah.
called Groundhog Day. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. In that
Yes.
movie, there is one guy who's stuck in one day of his life again and again, again and again, again and again.
The
So that
same circle.
the same circle. So if we don't fix anything, we'll keep living the same circle again and again, again and again.
Yeah. And this is why we have to speak. We have to speak out loud, and we don't have to be shy. We
Correct.
have to speak. Yes. Yes. So, what are the myths that people still believe today because
So,
of
for
the movie?
example, this whole myth of the Bermuda Triangle, right? It came from movies. It got established in movies. You can look at a lot of myths in real life, where in movies a specific kind of people is portrayed in a specific kind of way, and then
Yeah.
people who have never interacted with them, as soon as they think about them, that image pops up, right? Like when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be again
Yeah.
being very candid. When I was growing up, a lot of Hollywood movies had a Russian villain. So whenever I would think of a Russian person, he would be this villain. He would be smoking his cigar, plotting to take over the world.
Okay.
And then I met some Russians in my life, and they were good. The same way all Indians were thought of, they're going to bob their heads and be like, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir." But we're very, very different. So it starts from
Yes.
there, and then it goes all the way up to these, fantasy worlds that people create, and especially children. Like you mentioned Cinderella and all, right? Children
Yeah.
believe that they're all real, right? If you go to Disneyland, the rides are not rides. So it's not like a roller coaster that you will enjoy. It's just experiences where kids growing up watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, who believe that they are true, will go there, sit in a ride, and they'll actually see the seven dwarfs mining. So they'll get happy that, oh, we got to see, the real deal. So that's the beauty of cinema. It creates this world around you that you suddenly start believing in, all the way from when you were a child till when you are about
Yeah.
to die. Some myths you might never be able to break.
So, how movies and cinema reduce stress? So, first, let's start. How stress affect life? People get stressed
Oh, yes.
more than one reason.
Yes.
Yes. So, how stress affect our daily routine life?
So I'm not an expert at this, but I'll give you my point of view, right? Because there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
there are many psychologists,
Because also
psychiatrists, and experts on
your
it.
field also lots of pressure. For example,
And
media,
that's,
lots of pressure.
yeah, I think
So, how you
stress.
handle this pressure?
I think stress starts from expectations. That's my point of view. That the expectations that people put on you and the expectations that you put on yourself is the reason for
Nice.
stress. When we were growing
Yes.
up, we did not have so much social media, we did not have so much exposure. And for us, stress used to come from family, mother and father. You have to get good grades. Then it came from friends. you have to, play sports with us.
You have to be better than your cousin, better than your brother.
Correct. And that used to come from parents' expectations, right? Then you get into the workforce, then it's the expectations of your colleagues, the expectations of your boss, the expectations of your management. So it was all about it's all about expectations. Now, social media, a 13-year-old girl or boy is going through their Instagram feed and seeing everybody like perfect body, perfect face, perfect life. They put those expectations on themselves that my life needs to be like this. So stress, which was very bound to either within the home and put by parents or put by your peers, and then put by your colleagues and put by your management, has become expectations that you are setting on yourself, which is being put by the world. And that has increased stress so much. When I see people, older people saying, oh, he's a 10-year-old boy or a 12-year-old girl, what stress do they have? They have not understood how stressed these children are in because of the expectations that they are putting on themselves.
Yes, and even if they didn't speak or they talk with us about it, they have it inside. So we have to take care of it.
So that stress, again, from media, from all of these things people are taking, it's their own choice because those expectations they're putting on themselves. But then how do you break the expectation and break the stress is talking about it. So talking about stress is real, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, stress is very real and we need to action it. So realizing the problem. The second is then handling the problem in a very productive way in terms of people who already have stress, telling them how can you fight stress, telling their loved ones how they can help, telling people...
Share story with others.
Bravo. And then the last pillar, which is very important, because A, you've acknowledged a fire, B, you're putting out the fire, but C, which is the most important pillar, is removing the source of the fire. And that is that you need to normalize that this life that you are seeing in the cinema, on social, is not real. That you don't know the story behind it. You don't know whether a person was completely sad the full day and then just took a selfie like this and posted it saying hashtag living the life in that moment. So we need to normalize that life is not perfect for anybody, not perfect for you, not perfect for me. Hell, not perfect for Johnny Depp or anybody out there, right? It's never perfect.
Johnny Depp?
It's not perfect for anybody, right? So we need to normalize letting people and especially children know that life is not perfect. And I think, again, because it was created by cinema and social media and digital, we need to fix it over there as well.
Yes. But still, I think also some type of movies can reduce stress. For example, comedy movies. So how watching movies reduces stress hormones?
This is pillar number 2, as I said, right? Pillar number 1, acknowledge stress. Pillar number 2, handle stress. And pillar number 3 is make sure that the expectations you're putting on yourself, you start removing those. So I think movies can play a part in both pillar 2 and pillar 3. You go out, you had a bad day, you go out, watch a fantastic comedy movie or a romantic movie or what we call a feel-good movie, and suddenly your stress is gone, right? Happy hormones start coming out. Why? Because you start, at the end, think about it. Why do people get happy on what they call feel-good movies? Because they start believing that life can be this beautiful. Because they start believing that this person, this character could be me, right? If
beautiful.
You see a movie, there's this Will Smith movie that was really beautifully Pursuit of Happiness. What a beautiful movie, right? In that, they show this guy who's middle-aged, he has a son, he's going through financial, economic problems, can't do anything. And then by the end of the movie, he overcomes his hardships. And there is this scene, he's walking down Wall Street and it's just a voiceover, right? And you see his expressions and he's like, this is happiness. And he starts laughing and smiling and clapping to himself, right? Cheering himself. Suddenly you feel brilliant that if you persist and you put in power, you'll be able to accomplish this. So all these stress busting movies is because you relate with the character and they give you the point of view or the ideal that this could be me. And then comedies are comedies. Laughter is the best medicine. We know this, right? That when you laugh, when you
Yes,
smile, it
yes.
releases happy hormones. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel lighter. So that is definitely there. So this is pillar number two. That how do you manage stress? And that is honestly why I started acting as well. One of my, like, I have this catchphrase which I use whenever I, either plug a movie or do a movie or talk to the press or talk to, I'm like, come and let us entertain, because that's what we
Nice.
are there for. We are there to
Yes.
entertain you. Yes, maybe we'll give you a social message, maybe we'll give you something to think about, but at the end of the day, we want to help entertain.
Nice, nice. And what movies you watch? What type of movies you should suggest us to watch when we are stressed so we can reduce the
So
stress?
every person has different reaction to different kinds of content, right? I have
Yeah.
a friend of mine, whenever she is upset, she listens to the most depressing music on the planet and she starts feeling,
Yes.
and she starts feeling good. It's not a cycle. So normally when people are sad, they listen to sad music because they get more sadder, right? And they feel at home.
No, but it's scientific way what she's
Yeah.
doing. It's
So
scientifically.
so she does that. I love listening to upbeat, blasting in my ears kind of music. And that is the same thing when it comes to movies and content. Some people
Yeah.
like watching sad movies. Some people like watching feel good movies. Some people like watching comedies. Like I, whenever I am sad, want to watch mindless comedy. Like mindless comedy, like Dumb and Dumber, that kind of
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Complete mindless comedy, like movies like The Hangover, where I don't have to use my brain. I can laugh at these people being stupid and being funny, and I feel like $1 million after that. And the same thing I also do when I watch television shows, right? I
Yes.
normally like watching what we call very trashy television in terms of content, where you just shut off your brain. Why is Friends so popular, right? Not the best made show. It's not the best written show. It's not the best performed show, but why did it become a phenomenon? Because it was mindless, feel good content. And
I'm
our
with you. Yes. Yes.
grew up laughing with them, feeling good with them. So now it's like that, it's a trigger. Whenever you watch even 10, 15, you know that Friends, even today, is one of the most streamed pieces of content on Netflix. Even though,
Yes.
because people who feel sad, people who feel depressed or have had a bad day, they'll watch 20 minutes of this content. And this content has such a resonance and a reason and an effect. It takes you back to that time when things were good, is that you start feeling good. So not only
Yes. Yes.
content in terms of comedy and what they're showing to you makes an impact, but what it was when you had initially seen it, that also starts impacting your behavior and your
Remember the
acting.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So there's lots of advantage of watching movies.
Yes.
So how movies help us when we are depressed? So how we can know first? How we can know if we are depressed? How you can know if you are
That
depressed?
is, again, that is a question for an expert on mental health. I
Yes,
only
from your opinion.
So the day I stop enjoying or getting happiness from things that I used to enjoy, that is for me a very big indicator that I am depressed
Mm-hmm.
or a person is depressed. So people that you loved, if you're not giving them attention and you're not feeling connected to them, it could be. If there are movies that you used to watch and feel very happy and enjoy, and you're not enjoying, some people stop enjoying movies altogether, right? That is a symbol of, if there is food, like if you're a foodie and you like going and eating and it's no longer giving you happiness, that for me is an indicator that whenever you stop driving happiness from things that used to make you happy, that means that you are depressed, in my humble and very narrow
Yes.
point of view. Again, there are experts who can give us more scientific and holistic explanations, but that's
Yeah.
an indicator for me that somebody is going through depression if they're not enjoying what they used to enjoy.
Yes. And how you can compare between sadness, normal sadness, and depression. So sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we feel moody. It's type of kind of personality. And how we can compare between you are depressed or you are just sad and it's a bad day and you will move on. Or
You
no,
just
you
gave
are depressed.
you just gave the answer.
I
Sadness,
gave the answer.
yeah, sadness is time bound. You will feel sad for
Yes.
a day, a week, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month. Depression is over a period of time. If it persists for a long period of time, it's depression. If it persists
Yeah.
for short periods of time, it's sad, and everybody can be sad. And these days, many people are also depressed. So, but it's
Yes,
always
yes.
lying down. That's a very good
They should watch
indication.
movies. They should
They should,
watch movies.
they should, and they
So
should
how,
also.
yeah, so how movies reduce depression?
So I don't think that movies reduce depression that much. I think that
Uh-huh.
they give you a temporary escape. They create that nice world where you can escape to. As I said, pillar number two, how to manage stress and man. But I think honestly, as much as I love cinema and believe in the power of media, I think depression is something which requires a lot of internal work and work with experts and support of loved ones to get out of. So if you ask me that can we make a movie or can we make a content which will help people get over depression? No. Will it help them during their battle in depression? Yes, because they can escape for 2 hours, 3 hours and enjoy and feel connected to the characters. But it won't solve depression for people, in my point of view. That is the work of
Mm-hmm.
that person themselves and
Yes,
experts and their loved ones that are surrounding them.
of course. But there's lots of movies about depression or awareness. Or do
Awareness
you
is
have
there.
in mind
Yes.
any example of any movie?
In terms of depression, see a lot. Like for example, even this movie, The Joker, right? It
Yes,
showed you
yes,
how much
exactly.
depression
Yes.
and mental condition can drive a human, and it's an eye opener because you're like, okay, a person that I grew up thinking was a villain was actually a human being who was going through some issues in life and was depressed. So there
And
are
nobody give him any attention.
correct, and that's why I said that that state that he was in, a movie cannot solve, right? And movies, even
Yeah.
from people like me, will make me aware, okay, this behavior pattern is the same, this is the same, this is, but how I will get over it cannot be through cinema. It can help me, but just by watching movies, I won't get better, right? It'll help me
So
during
can
my.
we talk more about the Joker and the lesson we can learn from it? And do you think movies imitate life or the other way around?
Both. It's a vicious cycle. It's the question of which came first, the chicken or the egg. So
Yes, which
it's
came
a
first?
vicious loop. Life inspires cinema, cinema inspires life. It's a vicious loop that Shakespeare, when he started writing, brought theater to the masses. And before that, writers used to write just for themselves. So they were limited. And just like that, again, when you come to movies today, movies could be reality from 10 years ago, right? Or it might show reality of 10 years in the future. And people might start imitating it. When they start imitating it, somebody will look at them and be like, oh, let's put this on screen again. So it's a chicken and the egg complete circle where the answer to this question of whether movies imitate life or life imitates movies, there's no answer to that. There's no answer to that because it's always going to be a loop.
It's a smart question. Smart.
Very smart question, but I also gave a smart answer. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the Joker is one of my favorite movies. What lesson you think you learn from it, or what people they can learn from it? Plus, it was this he won lots of prizes.
Awards.
Yes.
So I think that I'll break it down. So one, I'll tell you what lesson I learned from it as a person, and one as an actor.
Yeah.
As a person, I think that one is very, very simple, right? That people are depressed and we need to give them attention. Otherwise, they might do things that are over the top and they might do things that might impact the world. I think one of the things that I learned as an audience member is that there is no black and white in the world. There is no good, there is no evil. Everyone is driven by motivation and condition. So the Joker was a normal guy, right? The whole condition that was created around him took him to a point where he became a villain, took him to a point where he
Yes.
started doing evil. So we are nobody to judge anybody because we don't know their story, what they've gone through. We say, oh, he's nice, oh, he's bad, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. But maybe the way that they've been brought up or what they've gone through life is dictating the way they behave. So as an audience member, apart from the things that everybody took away, I think one thing special that I took away, there's no black and white. There's no right or wrong. It's people and their conditioning what makes them good or evil. As an actor, this guy has given method acting. I think the last person who did method acting was another person who played the Joker. So Heath Ledger first for me identified and embodied method acting, and now it was this guy. Like the way that he embraced the character from a physical to a metaphysical to like to going into the psychology of the character to playing the nuances. My god, he was brilliant, humblingly brilliant. He humbled a lot of actors who thought that they had what it takes, but he just reminded us, oh, we have a long way to go.
Yeah, it's hard character. Yes,
It
and
is.
this is, yeah, but still, we can learn also to also as an artist or people who work in the field of media or acting to self-love, how they can love themselves more so they can be success and achieve more in their life. So we will talk about now films that teach us about self-love. So let us know your definition, your own definition of self-love.
I think self-love is
Uh-huh.
being happy with the state that you are in, rather than people say that, oh, love yourself, love who you are, love your talent, love your this. I think the day you are content with the situation state that you are in and you embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly in you, and you are okay with it, I think that day self-love starts coming out. Because
Yes.
for anything, like we say, right, to love anything, you first have to accept it. And I think that one of the reasons why people don't love themselves is because they've never accepted themselves. They've never embraced the good, bad, and ugly in them. I am not
Well,
the
do you
perfect
think
person.
that Joker he didn't accept them himself? So how
I,
we can put self-love in the Joker movie? How we can talk about it
I
or
think
comparison?
I think it's much more complicated because for him, conditions were also very, very tough. So, although there was, I think, enough self love at the beginning, but because of all of this condition and because he had no support system, I think that's where he lost his way. And that's one example, right? There are examples, like I mentioned, this movie, Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith. He also goes through a lot. He actually, there is this one scene where he, with his son, because he doesn't have money and his son wants to sleep, he doesn't have a home, they sleep in a public toilet. And there is a
Yes.
guy who wants to use the toilet and is banging on the door. And you can see Will Smith holding the door and crying because he can't
Oh,
even get that toilet. So he also went through that, but he persisted, persevered, and got through it. So I think that one needs to be extremely, I think, strong when it comes to their belief system. They need to have a good support system, and they need to provide good support systems to everyone around. And that's how you get through these bigger issues. But self-love, again, if a person is okay with who he or she is, I think that's where self-love starts from, is that you embrace who you are, and this is who I am,
yes.
and this is my, nobody's perfect. So nobody will be able to say, oh, I'm this, I'm that. And there's always going to be a good, a bad, and an ugly. So just
Of
embrace all.
course.
Just embrace all.
Yeah, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
And
So thank you
Sufis
for
say,
this
right?
information.
There's this very famous saying, Sufi poets have said that you can go and learn about the world, you can go and learn about the universe, you can go and learn about religion, you can go learn about the arts. It's nothing. It starts when you learn about yourself. That is
Wow,
where the
nice.
journey starts.
Nice. Yes,
And
yes.
it's my mantra and philosophy in life. I read this in Saraiki, what Baba Bulle Shah wrote, and that's
Wow.
where my journey started. Is before you go anywhere, just learn about yourself.
Nice, nice. So, so which type of movies or stories, books can teach us about self-love?
Whenever a character is portrayed, one of the things that actors are told is the audience will only like you if they can relate to you, not relate
Yeah.
in totality, right? Not related to, it's like I'm playing a character right now in a production that I'm doing. So I'm not expecting that somebody will come to me and be like, oh my God, this was completely me, right? But there might be shades of that character that people will be able to relate to, right? Maybe a dialogue, maybe a scene, maybe a reaction, maybe a romantic
Nice.
angle, maybe the act, something. I think that that is where the self-identity, the self-realization starts for people. So when people watch movies, right, they will relate to something or the other. Oh, he did this in this scene. I also do this in real life, right? So maybe I'm doing it because of X, Y, Z, and it's okay, right? The character that I'm playing has three fiancés, and he's lying to each and every one of them, right? Maybe somebody will come and be like, I also once lied to my spouse or to my partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe I was feeling the same kind of pressure that he is, maybe because I was hiding something. So either then you work on that or you embrace it that I am this person. In either case, self love goes up because realization goes up. So the more people watch movies, the more they learn about themselves by identifying with characters, not in totality, bits and pieces, pockets here and there. And then that self love starts to come out, plus showing examples of characters who have self love, who have self confidence, who have persistence, who have endurance. I think that sets a very good example for people to follow in their lives as well. Patch Adams, for example, Robin Williams' character, hated by the entire hospital. What self love he had, right? He knew what he was doing is perfect. And then by the end of it, everybody started loving him because they realized that he was a visionary. But that teaches, that teaches you self-love, that no matter what people are saying, if you believe in what you are doing is right and it is the humane thing to do, it's for humanity, keep doing it. And
Keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming. Yes. Yes.
yes,
Dream do come true.
of course, I'm on cinema with Jamila. My dream has come true already.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Because you were kind. That's why. So, Asad, which movies you should suggest us to watch so we can boost our self esteem? So, not only self love, but also self esteem.
My self-esteem is boosted when people over glamorize doing right? When they over glamorize it, when there are these movies which they might start from issues, but then when people do the right thing, that eventually leads to their success. I think that's like there was this movie, Jim Carrey, one of my favorite actors of all time. He did a movie called Liar Liar, right? I saw that
Okay.
movie when I was very young. And in that, he's a lawyer who basically lies through his teeth to win cases. And then one day his son makes a wish, I wish my father can never lie again. And then suddenly the next morning he can't lie. So whatever he's saying is true. Now, obviously, because
Okay.
he's been lying all his life, when the truth starts coming out, it gives him a lot of issues. But by the end of it, he realizes that, you know what, maybe honesty is the best policy. And he
Of
changes
course.
as a human being. These kind of movies help me get motivation, help me drive more self love. Because again, it's a good fundamental principle, right? Speaking the truth, basic value across all religions, caste, creed, nationalities.
Yes.
Speaking the truth is basic value. They took that
Yeah.
value, they over glamorized it and made it, funny, made it over the top. But at the end of the day, it was that basic prime value that they pushed. These kind of movies help me get motivation, and for me help me gain self love as well, because I'm like, yes, speaking the truth is right. That's something that I want to instill in myself. And the more truth that I say, because I have set it as an objective for myself, the more I love myself for it.
Nice. So, which lesson we can learn from self-love movies? So, honesty, truth, and what else?
I think the best thing that you can learn is embracing yourself, and the fact that when you watch movies, there are so many different characters, right? You have to, and again, you relate to every character. You have to embrace the fact that you have many shades of many things, and you have to really be okay with it. So, that is where I feel that self love will start coming out even more. Honesty, romance, taking care of your parents, taking care of your partner, spouse, loved one, these all will give you good lessons in life. But if you really want to work on your self love, embracing who you are is reality, is key, is the key thing that you need to do. And by these elements of watching different shades of yourself in different characters, it'll
Rainbow colors.
yes, rainbow colors.
Yeah, rainbow colors. Okay. So, Asad, movies for mental health. Okay. So describe for us mental health through movies.
So I think one of the first movies which tackled this, even when mental health uh, was not as broad in awareness as it is today. Right today, everyone's talking about mental health, especially after COVID and PTSD. A lot of people are talking about mental health. There was a time when not too many people were talking about mental health. At that point in time, to actually get into the brain of people who are not healthy or not, coherent in terms of, was a movie called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Again, inspired by a beautiful play. It was turned into a movie. Jack Nicholson. It won the Oscar. I think it was 73 or 74.
Wow.
Classic movie. Classic. In which Jack Nicholson's character, Randall McMurphy, goes into a mental asylum. Now, he's not mental, but he goes there to get out of prison. So he has a case
Okay.
manager, he convinces them, I'm cuckoo, send
Nice.
me to a mental. There he interacts with people who are not mentally sound, right? Who have mental health issues, right? And who have mental issues as well. And that was the first time where the shades of characters, their psychology, what made them what they are, because a few of them seemed absolutely normal, right? Absolutely normal. And then they had these quirks in them, whether they were depressed, whether they were scared, whether they were agitated. Like, mental health doesn't only pertain to being depressed, right? You could see somebody who's absolutely fine but doesn't speak, right? Who's an introvert but a scared introvert. They also have a condition because they are insecure about themselves. They feel over dominated by other people. That movie completely changed the game because people realized that the difference between this person who is a mental health patient and me may be just one incident, right? One bad
Wow.
can change
Wow.
me and make me that. So that, I think everyone who's watching this show and who wants to learn about, they need to go and watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and dissect the movie. It's a beautiful story, right? If you watch it as an entertaining story, the acting, the direction, the storytelling is brilliant, and every big actor that you can think of is in that movie. So it's a very good movie, but if you spend some more time with it and as a student try to dissect it, you will see there are so many shades of every character. Even if they come on screen for 5, 7 minutes, you will realize in those 5, 7 minutes, you'll know their entire story of how they ended up over there.
Wow. Yeah. So this is lead me to another question. So why celebrities sharing their mental health stories? What is the most famous person with mental health illness? Well-known celebrity that he shared their mental illness story with us.
I think that a lot of celebrities now are coming out. They're coming out and they're talking about mental health. And it's because one of the key things, I was reading this, I forget the name of the professor, but he said that one of the key things for a person going through depression is knowing that he or she is not alone. Because depression becomes extremely lonely and you feel that this is something which is only happening with you. So you start getting
Yes.
suffocated, that why me? I am this, I am that. So when celebrities come out and talk about their mental health issues, people realize we're not alone. People realize it's normal. People realize that if this person can have it, then it's okay if I have it. And they start feeling this
Sure.
community feeling, right? This community support, as I said, support, they start feeling supported and it helps them out of that. And social media has made it very easy for people to share their stories. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, an actor or an actress would have to make a movie on it to get the message across to you. Today, you just turn on your cell phone, 40 million followers if you have, khalas, you're in, right? In 5 minutes.
Yes.
There's this, again, I'll shift gears from Hollywood to Bollywood. There was this one Bollywood actress, famous, beautiful, gorgeous, confident, top of the industry, came out and said that she had depression. And she did a full year where
What's
she,
her name?
Deepika Padukone.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
she spent a full year where she took hiatus from movies, just working with people with mental health issues and depression issues.
Wow,
Because she
nice.
was like, I went through this, these are my stories. And there was an interview I saw where she was collecting donations for mental health patients. and she surprised
Nice.
one of the patients, right? Just walked up to the ward and he turned around and he started crying. And he's like, the only reason I am here is because of your video, because I almost was about to take my life. And then I saw your
Wow,
video.
that's amazing.
It was beautiful. And then I saw your
Of
video
course,
and
I
then I
think that
realized it's normal. I can get help. And I ended up in this hospital.
wow. And of course, he's now having a happy life for sure.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Asad, do you prefer to involve persons with life experience in the process than someone who has experience in their own life?
Art is something which is very subjective, and art is something where you can learn something new every day from anybody, whether that person is on the street, whether that person is a child, whether that person is 80. And reality, right? Related, as I said, when does a movie become good is when people can relate to it, when it resonates,
Yes,
when it connects. And the more authenticity that you put in, it's going to be better. So obviously, you need to involve people, right? Especially when it's about mental health, whether it's the writing process, whether it's the acting process, whether it's the creative process. You need to involve people of that, of with that, I wouldn't say condition, but experience, and that is critical to making sure that you have an authentic product. Which, because if you're making a movie on mental health, you really wanted to create an impact with people with mental health issues. And I think this is one way, if you bring that connectivity and relatability through real life experiences, you'll be able to impact more people than less.
yes, yes. So, Asad, let us know more about your type of personality. Are you angry person? So we will talk about films and anger. So how watching movies can reduce anger. So not only stress and depression, but anger.
I think that, so I am a patient person. I've been told that I'm a very patient person. I've had a very
Uh-huh.
angry childhood. I remember that when I was a child, I used to pull a lot of tantrums, throw a lot of tantrums. So,
Uh-huh. Okay.
but I've eventually built a lot of tolerance because I don't judge. As I said, right, especially like movies like The Joker have made me realize there's no black and white. So there's no point in you get angry when you feel that something is not the way it should be. It's as simple as
Mm-hmm.
that. When you feel that something is not the way it should be, your anger starts to creep in. And for me, there is no should. There is no should, because there is no set path. There's no black and white. There's gray. So I consider myself to be very patient. I don't lose my temper. And I think movies, again, as you talk about mental health, as you talk about depression, anger is another emotion. And if you can influence other emotions like happiness, sorrow, depression, you can influence anger as well. And again, by showing stories where people with anger issues end up losing things in their life, or end up doing things
Yes.
which are stupid, or end up doing hurting themselves and hurting the ones around them, I think that's how you will be able to push the agenda that anger is not good. And it's in many movies. I don't think that any movie was built around just an anger issue. There was a very idiotic movie called Anger Management, which was I think this guy, what's his name?
Yeah, exactly. So which type of movies reduce anger? Give us this example, please.
I don't think that's why I said this. The only movie I saw based on anger was a movie called Anger Management, which was a comedy. It wasn't even something which had depth. It was just these six people who have come to an anger management therapy session, and it was a
Nice.
full-fledged comedy. Like they were like throwing things at one another, and obviously eventually they realized that anger was the root cause of somebody losing their loved one, somebody losing their wife, somebody losing their job, somebody actually getting into a physical fight, and then that person hurt.
More than one reason. Yes.
Many reasons, right? It showed that, but it showed more the consequences of when you lose your anger, what happens. But if you look at movies, even in pockets, right, you will see characters in a burst of anger or rage do something stupid which completely destroys the story for them. So this is something, and anger, just like honesty, has been something which has been portrayed in movies so much that that people have realized that anger is wrong, right? Anger is wrong. And then again, comedies and all, happy hormones, feel good. It not only reduces stress, it also reduces anger because it nullifies the same hormones that
Yes,
are the
yes,
depression hormones. So yeah,
yes.
that's how.
Yeah. So how watching specific type of movies have a big impact on people attitude. So for example, romantic movies, you will become more romantic person, or it's it
I
doesn't
think
have to be like this.
I think it's for some people, again, as I said, cult following and crazy fanatics of movies, their attitude might change. For the others, it's more of a recency effect. So if you go to a cinema and watch a really sappy romantic comedy, maybe that evening you'll be over the top romantic, but then you'll go back to normal life after that. So
Yes, yes. The
I
next
think
day.
yeah, the next day you're back to
Yes.
yeah. If you go out with like your significant other and you watch a romantic movie, you might be holding their hand
Or
and
you speak with your boss.
yeah, and khalas, the next morning, as soon
Yes.
as you speak to your boss, the whole facade is
For
broken.
example, yes,
Yeah,
just for example.
back to reality, right? Back to snap, back to
Yeah,
reality. But if
yes.
there is only a specific kind of movie that you keep watching and you keep enjoying, it might embed. Like one of my friends, she used to watch a lot of romantic, sappy movies as a child. She's a full romantic at heart, like full romantic at heart. And she
Wow.
believes in the, oh, my true love, my one love, and my only love. She believes in that and she gets happy thinking about it. So there are examples where personalities are impacted, but normally, if you ask about the majority, they leave the cinema mostly for maybe 6, 10, 12 hours. They'll have it, and then life will snap them back to reality.
Yes. So, as a comedian movies, so most of people love comedian movies. Why? Well, actually, for me, I don't like comedian movies, to be honest. But we talk about honesty. But lots of people, they love to watch comedy. Why do you think? Just for laughing? What's the secret?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. It's just for laughing because the more you laugh, the more happy hormones come out, the more your stress, anger, and anxiety goes down. And that feel good factor of laughing. Why do you feel that stand up comedy as an industry has grown over the last 15 years so much?
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago,
People need it.
15 years ago, stand-up comedians were like underground scene. 10, 20, 50, 30 people would go and watch them. They would only perform in bars or in these places with very small crowds. And then suddenly today, stand-up comedy is all the rage, right? I think after music, the other art form which is very popular, especially if you look at it online, it's comedy. The most amount of content consumed online on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are comedy contents because people want to laugh, escape, and laughter reduces all those negative
Yeah.
feelings that
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah. So, how watching movies or why watching comedy makes people happier? What's the secret behind this comedy?
It's all chemical and biological, right? All those hormones and those endorphins that are secreted when you laugh, which counterbalance everything else, right? That is it. And another thing about humor, so this is the chemical explanation for it. Another element is jokes are very relatable. They basically say things that you want to say, but you can't, right? Again, whether
Nice.
it's political, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, a lot of jokes on husband and wives circulate a lot. Why? Because every husband wants to diss their wife, every wife wants to diss their husband. They can't do it, so they read it and they're like, ha 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 ha, I'm done with life, right? So that's it is a portrayal of life which you can't do. And it's done in a very humorous way. So it instigates laughter, endorphins, brings your stress and everything down. So that's why comedy
Yeah.
circulates a lot.
Yeah. So why so many comedians experience addiction and mental illness? So even if they make people happy and they have this skill, they have many problems, addiction and mental illness. Why? Why exactly the comedians want?
So this is also chicken and egg. So a lot of people say that people who are depressed do good humor. And a lot of people say
Yeah.
that people who do good humor are depressed. So
Or the people who laugh, they are depressed
yes,
or they are sad because they laugh a lot. And it's scientifically.
it's not because they laugh a lot. I think that comedians being depressed is again a loop, right? Because as a comedian, I'll tell you that the best humor comes out when you are sad. Like when you are
Uh-huh.
sad, the best humor comes out.
Why? Why? If there's any
I have no,
scientific.
I don't have any scientific answer to that. So that's why I'm telling you that it's a very, whether depressed people are the only ones who are doing good humor, or you say people who are doing good humor eventually become depressed and addicted. It's a chicken and egg again, right? You look at one of my favorite actors of all time. All like he's for me, he's right up there, right? Is Robin Williams. Versatile,
Yes.
funny, drum. He was everything, right? And he used to make people laugh so much with his movies. In the end, he took his own life because he was depressed. So
Too
it
bad.
it was very, very sad. And he had many other issues. I don't think comedy and his depression were correlated. But to your point, right? You never know that people who might be making you laugh the most might be depressed themselves.
They
But
suffer a lot without anybody.
I don't feel it's correlated. I feel that it's not related at all. Like, but the thing is that sometimes people who are depressed write the best humor because they can
Or write the best
sense,
scripts,
yeah,
right? The best, they have writing skills, for
because
example.
they can look reality in the eye and without any fear or hang-ups, they can write whatever their heart desires.
Yes, yes.
By the way, you know
Well,
that it's a very good form of therapy, writing. So a lot of
yes,
doctors will tell you that if you're depressed, write a journal, express
yes.
feelings on a
Write
blog.
your story and share it with others.
Bravo. It's a very good form of
Yes,
therapy.
yes. Nice, nice. Well, wish you, Asad, lots of happiness and success in your future. And I'm sure it will be wish you happy journey and happy life. And thank you to be part of my program, Cinema with Jamila, with my favorite actress and the most successful one, Asa. Do you like to say anything? Just a small advice about cinema and the importance of watching movies to reduce stress, anger, depression, anxiety, the topic that we talk about. And thank you. Thank you.
So first of all, I'd like to thank you for having me on this show. It was a real pleasure being here. Your
Thank you.
questions were very
Pleasure is mine.
in-depth, and I think that they mixed reality and mixed fiction. So it mixed the cinema world with what core issues are happening in the world and how we can leverage media and cinema to help those in need and to fix some very core issues. And thank you very much for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun, very insightful, very in depth. The
Pleasure
last
is mine.
and the last thing just that I'll tell people is that my mantra in life, and I haven't achieved much, but I've come from a place where nothing was there to something is there, and it was because honestly of persistence, perseverance, and being passionate. So passion, persistence, perseverance. If you have these three, if you feel passionately about something, if you persist in your efforts, and if you are never tiring in your perseverance and you keep at it, inshallah, whatever you want in life, you will get it.
Yeah, and how important to watch movies also? Anything, any
Ah,
advice about movies?
movies are the best, whether it's for entertainment, whether it's for education, whether it's for artistic release, whatever, it's the best. And I would just add one thing is that content today can be anywhere on television, on
Yes,
Netflix,
true.
Amazon, in the
YouTube.
cinema. Everywhere good content should be consumed because it will impact your life in one way or the other, and then you need to be selective of what you take from it or what you don't. But if it is a grand canvas movie, please watch it in the cinema because that can only be experienced in the cinema. You watch Top Gun on your laptop, you'll still enjoy it because it's a good story, Tom Cruise. But if you watch it in a cinema, oof, then you will experience the movie. So go out, enjoy the theater, enjoy live entertainment, enjoy the cinema, enjoy that large canvas, and live your best life. Enjoy, do whatever you enjoy doing.
Thank you to be part of cinema with Jamila. Did you like the logo behind you?
Right? Beautiful. It's
It's a
absolutely
beautiful
wonderful.
logo. Yes,
It,
I'm with you.
it is. It is.
Thank you, Asad. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing the advices with us and how we can watch your movies. Anybody who's watching us right now,
Well,
or to buy tickets.
I'm based in the UAE, so if you're here, search on Google whatever show is happening. We love doing live entertainment, live shows.
Yes.
Television, you can follow me on Instagram, Asad Raza Khan, or my YouTube channel, Asad Raza Khan. And in movies, again, the projects that are coming. There's one project, theater project, which is happening in July. If you're in the UAE, in Dubai, come check it out. There's another movie of mine coming out in September, which will hit cinemas hopefully all over the world. So yeah. So if you give us the chance, let us try to entertain
We
you.
should all come to Dubai for sure.
Please
We
do.
will make our plan coming to Dubai
Thank
just to
you.
watch you
Thank you so
and to
much.
see your beautiful movies.
Thank you so much, Jamila. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
This is
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thank you for your time and effort and this lovely information. And
Thank
like I said, knowledge is power, and you have this power. And thank you for sharing out with us.
you. I'm still learning, and hopefully, I'll be able to learn more from people like you and people all around.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.